Another day, another great mastermind. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about prospecting. Now, this is something, it's kind of like teaching you how to walk. Everybody knows how to do it, or I should say, run. People will actually work out in a certain way. Some people do it a little bit more effectively. And what I'm going to try and do with this is take a critical look at where business is coming from, how you're able to do what you do, and where some of the failure points may be. It's extremely important that we embrace the technologies that are out there and at the same time recognize that you've got a reputation that you need to uphold. Using these tools for what they're worth, and that is an assist, not as something that is going to just be the end all be all. You're never going to talk to a person again. You're going to only depend upon the AI. Bullshit. It doesn't work that way. What we're really trying to do is find out the best way to gain leverage and the best way to utilize these tools, but not before I let the mob in. Here we go. Okay, great folks are starting to come in. Loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it.
Good morning.
Good morning. Love your
How are
enthusiasm. Okay, this is good. Folks, it is a bitch and disco time. Truly a bitch and disco time. Oh, Michael Varoukas. Wow. Look at that. He's all frozen or something. Or he's like so happy, he just can't stop smiling. Okay, there he is. He's
I'm
unmuted.
good.
Good.
I'm happy to see you.
I'm so happy to
Love
see
the
you.
show.
Yeah, feeling very patriotic today. So we're going to give everyone just a couple minutes here and get them in. I believe Aton is joining us from Surfside, Florida, which is lovely. There he is. And Michelle Abbott is joining us, which is great. We could see she's either sitting very still or that's a photograph of her, but either way, it's good to have her. Uh, who else? LaVette, great. Jamie, okay, look, we're getting all sorts of people. Karen Knox is joining us now. All sorts of good stuff. And I've got cocktails this evening with Aton and a couple of people in Miami Beach, so looking forward to that. Got some business going on there. So we got some great stuff going on. And again, I'm just letting them roll in. But while they do, let's have a conversation here. I want to know, we're talking specifically today about prospecting. And we're talking about prospecting in the AI age, which again is about prospecting. We could overcomplicate things if we want, or we could dumb it down to its most raw value. And that is, what are you going to do on a consistent basis to be able to get opportunity that will make you money? Dare I say that's it's not a symptom of the disease. Dirk likes making money. Look at him, he's all happy there. You know, Michael loves to make money. That's one of Michael's favorite things. You see, so a lot of us like to make money. Most people that come to this meeting like to do that. We like to do it in an ethical way and in a way that is actually comfortable. And I think therein lies the problem with most realtors. Most of you, or most people in general who might be in sales, most of you see sales as an interruption. Hey, how many people, just show of hands, be honest here, myself included, how many people see like the stereotype of the salesperson as kind of an interruption? Okay, maybe. Alicia's the only one of the guts. Okay, Paula, very good. Thank you, Alicia. Alicia, her hand shot right up. Yes. And therein, again, we go back to the beginning here. What I'm trying to do is to make the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what I think AI could really deliver for you. Strategy and structure is really the name of the game. So if we know somebody is a great lead source, what are the ways that we could actually lean in on that person? What technologies can you utilize? We've already established in past meetings that some of you have gotten 20, 25, and 30% of your business from a single source, and yet not all that much went into the prospecting of them. No need to beat yourself up over it. No need to be self-critical, but it's something that you need to recognize that it is something that can be corrected. And that's what we're going to do here today. So, who prospects on a regular basis? Okay, come see, come saw us. Michael, we're gonna get Michael in a second. With LaVette. LaVette's my secret weapon over here. I'm gonna get LaVette, but first I'm gonna pick on Paula. Paula, do you mind unmuting yourself and telling everyone who you are and where you are?
Good morning. Hi,
Good
Paula
morning.
from New York,
Okay.
Queens, New York.
The Queen of Queens. So, Paula, tell us specifically. You said come see, come saw with your prospecting. Tell us about what you meant.
It's a very, not sophisticated process. I just really make a list and try to call at least five people a day,
Look at
you
that.
know, at a specific time
That's what
every
I
day.
say.
It's in my schedule and it reminds me to do it every day. And I don't always do it. And I really try to stick to it because after I make that call, they're like, either, whether it's a call or a text, some people just can't answer during the day. You have to be mindful of that. But they're always like, oh, hey, great to talk to you. We should connect. And I also try to do one lunch per week now, coffee,
Okay.
lunch, whatever, just to really get that face to face. And I think that's even more important than a phone call. And
Wonderful.
then the other thing is trying to stay in touch. I'm going to be speaking to somebody today who has an expired listing, blah, blah, blah. She just got an email from me last week just about a new listing, hey, this is something that's coming up, whatever my assistant sent. And she said, it's just staying top of mind. She says, I got that email and I thought of you because I have this commercial listing and I want you to take it on.
See that?
So, so it's not super sophisticated, but just staying top of mind
Uh,
is really challenging.
and that's business ringing, ring. The phone's ringing off the hook right there. I heard
No,
that.
that's my husband's phone.
Okay.
I'm home right now, but go ahead.
So before I pick on Michael and LaVette here for a second, you say that you're making 5 calls a day. You're trying to make 5 calls a day. That was very honest of you. I appreciate it. Um, what's the output? One of the things that any coach or anybody who's actually trying to advise people on sales is to say how much, how often, who's the lead source, what made you want to call them in the first place, how much business have you gotten out of them? Has there been any tracking in that effort at this point? And if the answer is no, bravo for being brave. You're still you're
My dog's going crazy here.
okay. No
So
worries.
here's the thing.
Mhm.
I keep a board in my office, a whiteboard of the current listings pending and under contract.
Okay.
Above that, I have another little chart kind of graph of every listing appointment that I go on. And this is borrowed from somebody else. It's not my idea, but
R&D, rip off and duplicate. I wish
that's
I wrote
right.
that. I love
That's
that.
right.
People think it's research and development. It's not. It's rip off and
It's
duplicate.
R&D, right.
Yeah.
And the who did I see? The little date next to it. I have my little codes, it's if the last name is Maraschino, for example, it's Marr. So I remember I went to that guy's house on that day. Hey, I got to call him back. I got to send him a text. I got whatever it is. But now, out of the ones that I went to, who did I get? Because I'm a listing broker. Who did I
Mhm.
get? Check it off. And who did I get? Now, on the bottom where I have my listings and solds, how did I get that? So I started putting that on this year. Most of them are from my SOI friend. There is an up that I got a listing on that's in contract because I do a lot of advertising. I do the bus ads, the bus shelter ads here in New York. And where does the lead come from? So if I visually see that every day, that's going to be like, oh, that's my sphere. Get on the phone, Paula. Get
Mm.
on the phone. And that's really what it's all about. And when you think of it, it's like I stopped at a FISBO last week and I got the listing and we're so busy with that house. And it was just, people say, oh, they eat FISBOs for lunch. No, it's like so friendly and happy and nice that you never know what you're going to get.
You
So when
did.
just stop the car, you see a sign, stop the car. The garage was open. I said, hi. And the guy was like, hi. So it started off on a great note. You never know. You
It's
got to try.
and it's all in the high. I got to get that high down. That works well for me.
Yeah. The high
The
note.
high that
Yeah,
works.
the soprano.
Let me pick on Michael and then I'll pick on Lavette. Oh, you see, we got the little balloons going on here. Hey, Michael.
Hi, how are you, everybody? Thanks for picking on me. That's okay.
Okay,
So,
it'll be a soft pick on.
obviously,
Just
yeah.
tell everyone because a lot of people haven't met you here. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, and how you prospect.
So what I do is I have two businesses now. I have a couple of businesses, but my main core where I met Ed, I started a commercial relocation firm in New York City called CRS Corporate Relocation Systems. And I didn't like working with households because it was too personal. And I really excelled at moving companies. Hundreds of people over a weekend. They leave Friday at one location and they show up Monday somewhere else. hotels, filling them up with furniture, voting machines for New York, all different commercial type of work.
Wait
We're
a minute. Did you say
national.
voting machines for New York?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So
I
we
knew
do
that,
it.
but I just that's like a leading thing. So you work for the state or the city?
That's the city of New York. At
Wow.
that point, we had the voting machines. Anyways, so I'm down in Florida now, and I've extended out. Because of COVID, we went national. We went national because our clients, which were mostly facility directors and property managers, didn't want to travel during COVID. We did. We stepped it up, and we offered more services. So I, like Paula, try to do 20 calls a week, whether that's an email going out to a current client or a prospect or a phone call or a LinkedIn connection. I try to stay at least minimum 20 outreaches a week. And hopefully two or three people call me back just to catch up. But I do focus, and especially because of Ed, been using AI. So like this week, I have a reciprocal club, which is the Union League Club of New York. It's a club that members belong to. It's got a gym, a hotel. So there's the Harvard Club, the Cornell Club. And so I asked AI to find me all of the reciprocal clubs in New York, ChatGPT, if possible, to find out who the property and owner managers were. And then from there, build out what makes CRS special for a reciprocal club. And it put down a nice way to prospect that out about what we offer, which is discrete offsite storage and facility support for private and reciprocal clubs, discretion, confidentiality, member sensitivity, hospitality grade handling standards, single vendor accountability, and extensive experience in occupied high expectation club environments. So by now I have my message that I'm going to now deliver to these 9 clubs in New York, and hopefully I can pick up, a couple of those. That will be continual work. It'll be work coming into storage, work coming in on the places when they redo them. So our hotel experience. So that's what I try to focus on. The weeks before I was working on hotels on the Upper East Side because our warehouses are in Queens. So, I was looking for the easy connections. And that's what we've been doing, and it's been shown growth. Sometimes we move a company and a company moves once in 5 or 10 years. That's a one-shot hit. It's like selling a house. But if we work with some architects or some developers or some commercial real estate brokers, they tend to feed us 4 or 5 move leads a year. And that's where that steady growth comes from. So I don't have to necessarily be cold calling the way I used to 20 years ago when I
And
first.
and and with regard to the voting machines, it's a government. Governments
Yeah.
have a hard time paying their bills. They take a while, but usually they pay.
They're very
Okay.
good at paying. I have a GSA federal contract also for 20 years, so I do a lot of federal work. It's fantastic. And it's bid opportunities. You put the numbers in, if it works and you can meet the standards, you win. And it's
But-
nice.
So guys, look at what he did. He got himself on the list. Is my team here? Boo, my team's not here. Okay. Well, we have a hedge fund that's a recognizable brand that's down here. Actually, somebody's joining now. But we've got a recognizable brand that's down here, and they are growing like wildfire. And I've become very close with the CEO, and he, doesn't really have. We've now gone through. We're under contract for 2.5 million on a deal. Um, this is the sixth deal that we've done. Truth be told, they're mostly rentals, but people moving down suddenly want to, before they buy, they might want to rent. Again, not a symptom of the disease, although we might feel that way. It's the R word. It's worse than any of the other curse words. It's the R word, which is, of course, rent, or the L word, lease. We don't like that at all. But this guy's consistently feeding business into us, just like Michael. You could actually see that we've had consistent stuff fed into us. Let me give you another example. A builder. Now, the builders are a pain in the ass. They want the world's greatest deal. But here's the thing. I don't know how it works for Dirk in Denver or for Hassan, but where we are here, when a builder gets a fix and flip, for example, there's a client of ours that does this. If we get them the deal, they give us the listing. That happens it's kind of the unwritten contract. Dirk, you're nodding. That's accurate. Okay. So there, and Hassan, is that sort of similar? That maybe, okay. Fine. We find a strategy that actually works for you. But the thing that I love about this and what I love about what Michael's saying is it consistently feeds business into you. So if we could work on that, that's gonna, it doesn't take a lot to really succeed, particularly as a solo practitioner. It really doesn't. If it's you could get a tiny deal at a couple hundred thousand, or you get a much bigger deal at 2 million. Same work. In fact, I'll go a step further. The 2 million is a lot easier. It's a lot easier, and it consistently is a lot easier. Let me go into because at this point everyone's saying, okay, well, where's the AI part of this? I'm going to show you a little trick here that every Michael's smiling. I want everyone to smile like Michael. This is the Claude desktop app. Can I hear some oohs and ahs? Ooh, ah. Okay, this is the Claude desktop app. Claude is a competitor of ChatGPT. It's by a company, ChatGPT is by a company called OpenAI. Claude is by a company called Anthropic. They've been making a lot of news. I'm just making the assumption that, again, I don't want to assume that you know anything, so I'm just going on with a full explanation. What you're going to see in the desktop app is something called Cowork. I'm going to click on Cowork right here. And Cowork has a whole set of things that you could do. This is not a scheduled meeting on Cowork, although we will be having some of those. And just as an aside, tomorrow, 11 a.m. on Zoom, we're talking about Claude Code. Remember, you guys, I said, anybody want to come nerd out with me? It's more of an advanced type of thing. The beginners, don't let that scare you. It's just a little bit deeper concept. If you can make it 11 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to do this every month and have a special Thursday carved out to look at some more advanced topics. So that's my pitch there. But right now, this is called Cowork. And one of the things that you're going to see, you see on the left-hand side, it says scheduled. Great. I'm going to click on that. And one of the things that I could do, let me get this out of the way, is click on new task. First of all, this schedule will actually send emails or do tasks provided that this is the computer's awake. So you might want to click this little toggle button, keep the computer awake. And you might want to click new task. Okay, great. What do I want? I want to, Michael, could you unmute yourself a second? Michael? Michael? I can't see him anymore. You got it.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Okay. So Michael, give me a company, and we're not going to send it to them specifically, but give me a company that you might want to go after, or
Citadel.
what?
Citadel.
Citadel. How do I spell it?
Citidel. They're
Citadel. Citadel
a
drip
financial firm.
campaign. Okay, this one's going to be tough, but let's just take a look. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to do uh, a timely email taking a look at what's going on in the news and why Citadel needs to understand the moving landscape and the intricacies um of moves in South Florida and New York. Okay, so let me just put this here. Okay, so now let me just let this person in. So Michael, just right now we're going to be able to actually give some instructions to this here. Um, what give me some buzzwords of if I was the person, the destination person at Citadel who needed to know about you, what are some buzzwords and things that they'd want to know?
Well, first, let me just say that they got a new $2.5 billion global headquarters being built down at 1201 Brickell Bay Drive. So
Okay,
that's what I'm
stop,
focusing on.
stop. Okay, this is a company that has a $2.5 billion facility being built in Miami. I'm
Yeah.
going to keep it really simple here.
Okay.
Okay. This campaign is for someone who owns a moving and storage business. What I want you to
Mhm.
do is look up all the local news about this company and about what's going on in the area and things that this company may want to consider if they are trying to do some relocation, whether that is inter-office relocation or anything of the sort. I'm going to put this out manually on a timely basis, but please take a critical look at what's going on. Also, look up Michael Varoukas from CRS Moving. He is the person that this is being written about. This drip campaign can be 2 paragraphs. That's it. It's got to be quick, short, and get right to the point. We'll figure out the person to send it to. Okay. And hold on. There we go. So now we can see the frequency is manual. I don't have a project that it's actually working in, although I could actually create a project if I wanted to. Um, Actually, you know what? I'm going to do new folder, Michael B. Okay, so I just created that. Now it's in its own um, project, and any changes that happen are going to be geared into this. Now I'm going to click save, and we can see that the drip campaign's been created, and I'm going to run it now. Now, what's happening here? What's happening is, and we're going to get back to it in just a second, the campaign gets run whenever we want. Now, truth be told, I put zero time. Michael would never dare put such a little time into that. But if you actually take the time to build out what the people want to hear, how they want to hear it, what the news is going on, and what's happening there, all Michael has to do, and we just did it, we're going to go in and show it, is click um, run the campaign, and an email is going to be pushed directly into my Gmail drafts. How do you like that? So it's going to go directly into my Gmail drafts. Now, the last thing Michael's going to have to do is go over to the drafts, check it out, and click send. Make changes. No excuses not to read. Have I ever said to anyone that you can do no work? Okay, say yes. Oh, there's the balloons again. Yeah, I got to do so here. Now I could give you the thumbs up. I like, just one more time. Is it going to do this? Okay. The AI is not listening to me today. Anyway, so you get the point with all that. In a minute, I'm going to pull this up here. Let me just see if this is it's still active right now. It does take a little bit of time to actually work. Other things that you need to know when it generates that information, you're going to use more tokens and more credit between 5 a.m. Eastern time and 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to save credits, Eitan and I have this debate all the time about, it's using up too much power, it's taking up too much credit. Anthropic came up with a solution. Just do it at 2:30. Just do it in the afternoon and then send it at some other point. But you could actually get right into the heart of what people are looking for. My hope is that this is going to be ready in a minute. Uh, Okay, still working on it. So, when that actually comes through, you'll be able to see. But that's just one way that now, whether you're using Claude Code or just prompts, doesn't really matter. To me, I like Claude, not Claude Code, Claude Cowork, because what you're really able to do is schedule this. Now it's got Michael in there, and I just have to click manual whenever I want, and it could go nuts. And the deeper the time, the more time I put in to the prompt for Michael or for anyone, the better the output is going to be. So this output I'm going to say is going to be subpar because I didn't put enough time into it, but you can. Now that you know that this actually exists, you could download the app. Again, I'm spending your money very carefully, 20 bucks a month, no big deal. You get the Claude, and with that comes Claude Cowork. Greatest thing ever. Game changer, because you really now have not only all the emails that go out, but it's all segmented in Claude Cowork. Michael knows when that's actually happening. We will do, Eitan, we'll talk about this at some point. We will do a meeting on specifically Claude Cowork at some point. It's a new technology. I think it's pretty cool. And I think all of you need to know it. I'm just seeing if this thing, God, it's doing a lot of research, I guess. Let me see.
So Ed, this is not to co-work with other people, it's to co-work with the agent.
Correct. Thank you for bringing that up. It's not Claude Cowork between like Eitan and I work together. So therefore, it's somehow a bridge between us. Although I suspect there's different ways that we could creatively come up with means of working. But what I really want you to do, if you could take anything out of this meeting, is you are not prospecting enough. You are not meeting enough people. Um, if you are able to increase that by even the smallest amount, you can't imagine what's going to happen in a day, but in a year, you're going to close more business. In a quarter, you should be able to close more business. Just because anything that you're not doing right now, anything above that is going to really matter. You know what? I realized, LaVette, I had said I'm going to pick on you, and I didn't. So I'm going to pick on you now, I think, because I don't want to be rude. Hi, LaVette.
Hello, Ed. Hi,
Hello.
everyone.
Hey, everyone. Okay, so you said you prospect every day. How much do you prospect?
Oh my God. Every day, including holidays,
Okay.
except Christmas and Thanksgiving. And the only reason why I didn't call on Mother's Day this year because I was out of town. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I just cold call. I call expires, I call withdrawals, I call fiscals. According to Vulcan, year to date, I've made 14,841 calls.
Hold on. 14,000
14,841 calls.
year to date, meaning 2026?
Yes, January 1st through today.
Wow, your phone
So,
must be complaining to you.
well,
It must be like,
I'm,
oh, stop, it's enough.
well, got to keep going. But I start every day at 8 o'clock. Um, and I call again mid-morning and early afternoon or in the evening. So I try to call them, a few times a day at different times just to see when I can catch them. And like I said, I call in evenings, weekends, holidays. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. And what's been the result? And that's your sole means of business at this point, right? I mean, that and
Yes.
referrals, yeah.
Yeah, I had a late start this year. I did a lot of traveling the first quarter, so I'm kind of like playing catch up now. But let me see. I have been on only 17 appointments this year, to be honest with you. And I've taken about five so far. Like I said, I really did drop the ball the first quarter, so I'm playing catch up.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Look, all takes time. All
Yeah.
takes time and effort. We'll get more into it. This thing just popped up as the Citadel thing. Michael, here we go. So if we take a look at this, now we could take a look. Well, so it's going to Michael Varoukas, founder of Partner CRS, topic 2.5 billion. So it's going on with this. Drip one, the move to South Florida just got real. Citadel just confirms it's expanding its footprint. Okay, already I don't like it because it's saying that to the people that knows, um, supporting Intel. So, we can now say what I want is an email to the decision. Let me just dictate the decision maker at the company so that I'm going to so that I can go in, or so that Michael could go in and have a meeting with them. I'd also like you to push this to my Gmail account, to the drafts folder. Okay, so now it's working on it again. Again, it takes a little bit of time to work this out, but I think you could appreciate what actually goes on here, that it takes a look based on the set of instructions that you're giving it. Here, I'll open it up a little bit more. And it will execute on that and push this into your drafts folder. To me, that's just absolutely huge. I kept that as manual. You could also keep this as scheduled. So if you want to actually have a standing set of research done for you, where you come back into your office first thing in the morning and it did the research at 3 a.m. and it has all the stuff that's actually laid out, great stuff. If I'm looking for newsletter ideas, which I do, if I'm looking for topic ideas for this meeting, I will put it through that. And then I'll run it through a bunch of other AIs and we'll debate. And then Eitan and I will go back and forth. Oh, you're out of your mind. No, fuck you, up yours, blah, 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 blah. We fight like crazy. Then we have the perfect meeting and then all of you end up loving us. Isn't that wonderful? But that's really what we're trying to do on a regular basis. Okay, so we're learning how to leverage AI just a little bit. The workbook which Eitan has put out here, the course book, has um, loads of prompts for you to try. I'm going to leave that up to you to do that. How else are you prospecting? We know that LaVette's made close to 15,000 calls. LaVette, you need to throw a party for yourself when you hit that 15,000 number. Um, Michael is taking a real strategic look at Citadel and he's going to find some way to actually get into that. Both are prospecting. One is casting a wider net. The other one is laser focused on one thing. No right or wrong way to do it here. I mean, it's two very different businesses, too. What other ways are you going out and prospecting? And even if you've fallen on your face, that's even better. Let's together try and build a bridge to make it actually work. Now, I know it takes a little courage to speak up, but please, No one is going to beat up on you, at least not too badly. Or I promise it'll hurt so good. Anyone? Okay, Hassan's about to speak. The camera came on. Hassan, bring it home, Hassan. You're going to say something significant. I could tell.
No, nothing significant. Actually, it's sort of unrelated. I was just wondering if there is any technology or device that you're aware of that captures cell phone numbers. So I attended an open house. I did not communicate with anyone. I did not fill anything out. I did not provide any contact information or my name. But after I left the open house, I got a text message from the uh, the broker that held the open house, and I just couldn't figure out how they got my number. All I did was walk through the open house, so I'm just wondering if there's
Did you
any technology that's being used to do that.
like facial recognition or
Well, I don't know, like if there's some sort of device that captures like information from a cell tower or information, the signal that the cell phone is putting out, and then gets the phone number from there? Because it was just, it boggled my mind that I just, after I walked through the open house, after I left, about a half hour after, I got a text message from the brokerage. It was just a generic text, basically thanking me for attending the open house and
and you never put
providing.
your name down.
No, I didn't fill anything out. Didn't give my name to the, yeah.
That's pretty
It's,
creepy.
it's, yeah,
That's
Well,
I just,
that's fairly high up on the creep factor there. That's sort of creepy. I don't know if I want people just finding me like that.
there is technology that does that, yes.
Help us out, Eitan.
Well,
Anyone?
as your cell phone approaches any type of hub, it basically does a handshake, and in that handshake, the information is exchanged. So it is very advanced technology. A lot of retail stores use it, and they are more into doing it with Wi-Fi. So when your phone comes into the store, they identify you, and then when you come in again, they see your code again, and somehow they connect that to your phone number and start sending you text messages.
Yeah, but didn't that person buy in the store in the first place? Hassan just walked in.
Oh, also possible. So I'm not sure how they use it, but they are very sophisticated technologies that do that. But it's very expensive.
Yeah, well, it sounds worth it. I mean, as crazy as it is, Hassan, if you get a chance, you find out from that broker what they used. Please
Who
share it
was the
with us.
broker? Was it a big brokerage house?
so it's a boutique brokerage, but the guy has the car that he was driving. It was in the driveway. Was a Grenadier, which was like outfitted sort of like military spec, and so I don't know if he's into all sorts of technologies, but
Hmm.
yeah, I was going to reach out to him to see how he
Yeah.
got my information.
Listen, everything that we learn here oftentimes get, not everything, but many things that we learn here are driven by you. The members here will come to me and say that I've discovered this, and Eitan and I will dive deep into it and research it. And then a few months later, lo and behold, we have a mastermind on it. So I
Maybe
it's pretty.
maybe that broker has a second job with the CIA.
Leave leave it to Greg. Loving that, Greg. Yeah, maybe they're a spook. They're doing something. Let's go back to Michael's thing for just a second. Okay, so Michael, remember we were doing this thing from the Citadel. You see that this is now pushed into um, my Gmail, and I don't know how it came up with Gerald. Again, you need to put some time in, but at least it shows you how this works. I'll keep this short in time. I run CRS Corporate Relocations out of New York for 20 years. The firm's been financial services. Okay, already it's sounding a little too salesy. Phase secure, no mistrading, no train of custody exposure on documents or IT. With site work underway at 1201 Brickell, the eventual move of 830 Brickell and the additional office space Ken announced last month. Again, I don't know if they want to make it Ken or go by Mr. Griffin. Um, I'd like to be on your short list of the relocation, blah, blah, blah. Could we get 20 minutes? Again, Michael, you could decide for yourself if that type of cold outreach actually works. I would typically lead with a story about the building itself that they might not have known. If you really want to get that granular, that there was somebody that moved in and the elevator was too short for a particular type of furniture. We know this because I don't know what you might put into that.
Say, Ken, I feel bad. Mayor Mandami outed you there. Come on to Miami. Florida's way better. I'll help you
Okay,
move down here.
and I'm sure he's getting a lot of that too. And I'm sure he's getting a lot of that too. But the point that if you take anything away from this, I'd like you to stop and think through what you're doing to make the pitch. How do you automate the process as best as possible? Now, I just showed you Claude Cowork for setting up an email. If you do it a step further and actually take it for research, you can begin to research every single person that you want to meet. Now, years ago, or it still goes on, we have Google Alerts. Anyone using Google Alerts? Anyone know? Nobody's using Google. Okay, Google Alerts is something that all of you should be aware of and you may want to use. You could actually go to Google. Let me pull this up right now. Give me a second. I got to pull the screen back up here. So you could type in just Google Alerts and monitor the web for interesting new content. And you can see the alerts that I created. I created one for myself. I created one for Anthropic, one for my daughter, one for Claude, one for Douglas Elliman, one for this well-known business person in California. And I have all these different things right up here right now. If I wanted to, I could actually, where is this thing? Show all alerts, show fewer alerts, be on the web. Where is this thing? I'll create an alert about Citadel move to Miami. And we have different options here. Almost once a day. I don't want to do it as it happens. At most once a week. So I could do that. Maybe Michael would want it more. If we want it automatic or if we want news, we could have it picking anything that we want, whatever language you speak. If we want to do it in Greek, because Michael speaks Greek, we're probably going to just keep it in English though, because I can't imagine much Greek language stuff coming out about Citadel. Any region, we could actually do whatever region that we want, only the best results, and then delivering it to my email. Then I click, and boom, now the alert has been set up. And at least, at most, once a week, I'm going to get a message from Google about what came up from Citadel, right? Now you could take that information once it pops up in your inbox, and you could put that into an AI along with a particular prompt that says, this is something that happened in the news. Can you write out an email to this person about how I can help them with that situation? Or that they're trying to move here. I read about blah, blah, blah in the news. I could see that you may need help with this. Here's me. This is what I do. Again, I'm being extremely generic, but the idea for all of you is to go and play with this and to try and do certain things on your own, and for you to call me up with an idea that I never considered. And I'll gladly trumpet you all over the world. I'll gladly tell everyone how great you are for coming up with that idea. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, that's it. To me, intelligence is one of the most important things in business that all of us lack, that we're not really leaning in on all the great tools. By the way, that's free, okay? It's Google. They spend a lot of money on being Google. And you can find out in the very least, you should have real estate news um, in Coral Gables, Eva. You should have Dirk, your biggest competitor, in Denver. You should have that up there so that it pops up in the screen. Same with you, Michael. You should have your competitors in there so that you're actually in the know. And from there, we can build a bridge into more stuff that you're going to be able to do. Again, kind of the master of the obvious, but I bet most of you actually don't do it. What are the ways you guys prospecting? Come on, we've done the cold calling with LaVette. We've done, Michael has got that targeted approach. Who's got something for me?
Hi, Edmund. How are
Oh,
you today?
oh my goodness. It's Karina Pacific, who I'm having lunch with at the end of this month. How are you, Karina?
Good, love. So what I've been doing, I had two buyers are very specific in what they're looking for, which I
Mhm.
find very helpful. So what I had my title person is pull a list very specific to the area And I did a mailers, and it was so specific, those two very different buyers, that I printed the letter, very genuine, but I also hand signed my name. And they both noticed is it looked like you signed it, and I said only because it was a very small, mailer scenario. That I wouldn't have done it if it was 1,000 letters. But I did get 2 appointments out of this, and I have as I come back. Yeah.
Okay. Small
So
targeted works.
it does, and I've
Yeah.
done that before. It totally does.
Okay, everything small and targeted at these points has become what it is. Warfare. You used to have like one army in a giant field facing the other army in a giant field, and they go and all kill each other. And if there's four people remaining on one side, they win. That was highly ineffective on warfare. Today, it's these small little movements here. I hate to compare everything to military, but it really is kind of a good analogy to life. A lot of stuff works out very well in the big, broadcasts, the big, massive broadcasts. But also to be able to think very small works too. Mark Lawrence, please unmute yourself, lower your hand, tell us all about you and what you're doing.
Sure. Lower hand.
Okay.
Good morning. I'm Mark Lawrence. Art of War. Actually, that's what we were thinking when
Okay.
you're talking about warfare. So Mark Lawrence, I'm in the title insurance business. I heard Karina mention something about title, but I was going to actually mention social media is a good place for prospecting that nobody mentioned. Certainly, I know Edmund's had his moving to Delray and moving to Boca groups, and that's been a good prospecting tool. I spend a decent amount of time prospecting on LinkedIn. For me, being in somewhat of a more B2B business than a B2C business, I find that to be a really good platform. I try to post daily, which leads to connections, and then following up on those connections and creating, a kind of a system with doing that. Definitely opens up conversations. I try to do it in the most unsalesy way possible, and then sometimes actually I will target specific, lenders, on social media. I'll look to connect to them. I'll make reference to other people I'm working with at that particular lender to try to open up the door. So social media is definitely obviously, and there's ways to incorporate AI within your efforts, and I do utilize AI with respect to some of my messaging, and just keeping kind of almost using it as part and parcel to my CRM.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. You know what else it can do? I mean, right now I'm working on an app that, of course, I will roll out to you guys as I always do, called Sphere. And I'm sure I'm gonna have that's a working title for it right now. But my idea behind it is for this to tap into your sphere and research just five people. That's it. It's just going to be five people in a day, and it's going to produce an email or a text message or something for that particular person that's already been in your sphere and your LinkedIn, wherever it might be, and for you to hammer away at that. Look at Paula. She goes ahead and has a focus on just a very small number of people in the prospecting. She said five a day. It was funny when she said that. Same thing. If you actually go ahead and hammer away at this, you could then look back over the quarter and see how much work actually happened. If Paula is being honest, and she's an honest person, and she's doing this 20 days a month, I'll give her the weekends off. That's 100 calls or 100 people, 5 times 20, right? Did I get that right? Yes. Uh, so if you're going to do that every quarter, that's going to be 300 outreaches to people that are not that cold. Paula's job is to figure out what was the return on that effort every quarter. That's all of your jobs, to figure out what actually worked. And we're going to discard what doesn't work, and we're going to triple down on what does. That's prospecting. That's basically taking almost an A/B test. Anyone familiar with A/B testing? Okay, for those of you who are not, in marketing, you'll run two different emails, one with one subject line and another with another subject line. And you'll do over, let's say, 24 hours an A/B test. And you divide up hopefully a wide number of people. 500 emails go to list A, 500 emails go to list B, and we'll see which one was more engaging. Okay. So the theory being that if list B was more engaging, we'll know that that was the better uh, subject line, at least theoretically. And then we're going to double down on that and try over and over and over again. You guys need to start to embrace the tech, and you need to start to embrace the all the tools that are so at our fingertips right now to be able to discover um, the early warning signs for business. That really is huge for you, you know? Jorge, wake up. Okay. Yeah. I'm fucking with you. This poor guy was looking down. Speaking of prospecting, Jorge, how's business?
Yeah, it's good. I was going to tell you, I actually just got my first clients like 3 days ago. It's going good so far.
Good for you. Tell everyone what you're doing so we get that out there.
Yeah, sure. It's this AI automation business. So it's basically like anytime that someone has these like manual processes in their business, you basically get a quick idea as to what they're doing, all the
Mhm.
step by steps, and see how AI can come in and automate it.
And
That's pretty much it.
what was the business that you got?
The workers' comp insurance guy here in Tampa, and he's looking to automate his research process. So he needs to do a bunch of government sites and look that stuff up. It's like 30, 60 minutes every
Hmm.
time a new lead comes in. And so we're working on basically making it a press of a button instead of having to do 30 to 60 minutes of research for everyone that comes in.
Good for you. And how did you prospect him?
This is like called Upwork. So people that
Okay.
are basically they're already looking to buy something. You just need to show them why you can help them out. So I sent
Mhm.
them a quick little video and that was about it. We just got in contact.
Good for you. Okay. So look, a sale should not be the most remarkable thing. In fact, my hope is that it could be fairly boring for all of you. A lot of you are making very apprehensive moves because the sales are not happening enough. The truth be told, when you're jonesing for business, when you're really dying for it to happen, suddenly anything looks good to you. Okay. Suddenly, any lousy little deal looks good. And I talk to my team about this all the time. We are going to guard and protect ourselves and stay along the lines of the kind of business that we want to get. Every time I violate that and go for a much lower end or maybe out of the territory a bit, I screw myself every single time. Will I make the mistake again? Of course I will. It's human nature. You know I'm going to make the mistake again. We all will. But I'm saying it publicly here that you shouldn't and that I shouldn't. Again, we're all made up of the same thing here. We're salespeople. It's hard to give up on opportunity when you see it. Okay, we're going to get to wants, needs, and brags in a minute. I just want to give a reminder. Tomorrow is all about Claude Code. Eitan, is that email going to go out? We didn't want to confuse everyone with the email. Is that going to, you're muted now. Is that going to go out tomorrow or today? When is that? It's going out today, right? Right after the meeting?
It's going out now.
It's going out now. Okay. So if you can make it to tomorrow at 11, again, Karina, are you back in California? I hope so. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. I don't know where she is. Okay, so we're trying to give our Californians a break. It's going to be 11 a.m. New York time, 8 a.m. California time. Dirk, I hope you can make it as well. Hope all of you can make it to that. It's going to really not focus on real estate whatsoever. It's focusing just on how to use Claude Code. Again, I'm nerding out on you guys. Come nerd out with me. The video will be in the archive as well. And this is part one of a three-part series. So we will be going on with this quite a bit. We are leaning in on all of the tech. Okay, with that said, wants, needs, and brags. Now it's time in the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. Um, who's got something? I got a closing coming up, something like that. Okay, Hassan, great.
So this is sort of like right place, right time. It's not a sustainable strategy for business, but I held an open house about 3 weeks ago,
Great.
and I ended up getting four sides out of that open house. So I two unrepresented buyers that I put offers in for on different properties. Both offers got accepted, and I'm also getting the listing to sell their current home. So it's about $2 million worth of business out of
Look at
those
that.
four sides.
And while it might not be replicable, the methodology is. The point is that you had an open house and you got the opportunity. Good for you.
Yeah.
Love money. Love doing that. Good fun stuff. So congrats, Hassan. Good guy for everyone to know. Who else? Don't be shy. Come on, Hassan just did it. Doesn't hurt that much. Michelle, maybe? Been quiet this whole meeting. Jamie Gomez, maybe. Eva, maybe. You guys
Okay.
really, you're making me work for it. Okay, Eva, go ahead.
Well,
Hola.
I I can only say that I just sent my first two email blasts.
Okay.
It took me forever to put
Okay.
them together and to to find them to do actually to work with the technology actually because like since it's the first time that I'm working with the system, so it took me a while, a few hours
Okay.
throughout the day actually, but at the end I ended up learning better. So next time I think I'm gonna do it quicker.
Of course you
Uh,
will.
but at least I made them. So now I know now it's gonna be easier for me to make them and start sending them more often.
It's not even at least. I mean, you did it. It's going to naturally be a lot easier. How many emails did you send out?
So there was two emails to over 400 people each,
Okay.
and
Did
I was looking at how many people open and view them.
okay.
So I think I had like in the first one over 70 people that looked at it.
Okay.
The second one I really haven't looked up yet.
Okay. So 70
But
people.
now I know, yeah, 70 people open them, and these are people that I kind of like know half of them, or they know who I am at least,
Great.
because these are parents from school from all my previous years, so they might have an idea who I am.
So terrific. What you could do with AI, again, I don't know that you're using the Element system or what system are you using for the email blast?
The one through Douglas Elliman.
Douglas Element. Okay. So there's got to be a way to actually take the people that clicked and then segment them into a more high value person, but for lack of a better word, to actually tag those people so that you'll understand who they are. And then you could send a follow-up message to them, especially if you know them. I saw that you saw the messaging. I'm trying to do this in my own marketing efforts. If this is a friend of yours, what do you think? Asking people love to give their opinion. Isn't that the fact? People love to give their opinion and people love to help. What I find amazing is my dad once had a flat tire on the Grand Central Parkway. Paula could relate to that. And Michael could relate to that too. He had a flat. This is 20 years ago. My dad's just turned 89. So he was probably 70 years old. And he looked at, and he was kind of tired, and he doesn't know how to change a tire. He's just like with the jack, looking at the car, looking at the tire. Tons of people stopped to help him. Now, why is that? People love to help. People really do. I think people hate to be sold, but they love to feel productive. And I took a lesson from that because I see that over and over again, is that for the most part, people are pretty good. Are there some horrible people out there? Of course. But I think for the most part, the people that I work with and the people that I see are pretty good. That's what we have to actually focus on. Okay. Who else? Thank you for that, Eva. See, wasn't that easy? Anyone else? Wants, needs, and brags. Okay. We've got this great meeting again tomorrow. We'll have another meeting again next Wednesday, possibly Friday too. I got to actually look at the calendar for that. For right now, I just want you to think about tomorrow. And for my coaching clients, if we don't have anything on schedule, we need to actually do that. I love the headway that's being made with all of you. Again, we just have to take a critical look at where you need to go and build a bridge to actually get there. It's working. It's working well. It will work well for you. Focus. Guys, it's really great to see everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And I hope to see everyone tomorrow at 11 a.m. for another wonderful episode of Edmund's Mastermind. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.